Hey everybody, hey, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that little bell on the right side so that way you can get the notifications of when I have a new video. I'll be doing quite a few of these new racer tips to help everybody get a little faster at the track, a little quicker. So don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks. All right, so I have another tip for your newer racers, as far as new racers at the track, and that's going to talk about tires, especially hard radial tires. There's a lot of new classes that are coming around pushing the whole hard radial, primarily with street cars, and so it's something for people to learn about a little bit with a radial tire, a hard radial tire. Starters, when you come up to the track and you get out there and you want to do a big smoky burnout with your hard radial, understand that what you're doing, you're not increasing your potential of traction unless your tire's been treated or something like that. A lot of the new classes for hard radial are 200 or 300 and higher. And what that's talking about is your tread wear. If you look on the sidewall of your tire, it'll give a number, and it's talking about, basically, it's talking about the compound of the tire. So harder, the higher the number. And so when you get out there on the track and you're trying to do a big smoky burnout with a hard radial tire with a high tread wear number, you're making a problem worse rather than making it better. There are a lot of people that swear by it. You do what you got to do, man. But I'm letting you know now, you increase your chances of lack of traction rather than increasing your chances of getting traction. A hard radial tire, as this starts getting heated up like that, and you're doing that burnout, you know, you've seen it up on your fender wells and stuff, how it has little pieces of rubber all over it. It's the same thing with a race tire too, which is why you'll see them out there wiping the tire down. Those little bitty pieces get caught up. Well, with a hard radial tire, you have a couple of different things happening. One, when it starts doing that, you're actually making the tire greasier. It's slicker. Now, when you're at the track, you're already on top of some good rubber. So yeah, you may still get traction. If you have a high horsepower car, higher, and what that means, there's a lot of different opinions about what's considered a high horsepower car. I guess it depends on what engine you have. But if you're out there and you're doing a big burnout with a hard radial tire, you know, you start getting all the little pieces of tire getting caught up inside the tire. So when you get pulled up there and you're going to try to launch your car, you're going to spin. In most cases, you're going to spin, especially with a higher tread wear number. And so, or a harder compound. And so, second, what also happens is with a treaded tire and you're going through the water box and you're doing those burnouts, water's getting caught up in your tread. Okay, so when you pull up there, not only that, it's also slinging more water up into your wheel well. So when you pull up there to launch your car and you're getting all stalled up, water's dripping down on top of your tire. It's getting it on the track as well. So you're not making things better for yourself there either. So now you're leaving with a wet tire and wet pavement or launch area, which makes it worse for the people coming in behind you as well. So there's some etiquette that you need to know as well as what you're doing. So your best bet with a radial tire, drive around the water box. Don't go through the water, go around it, okay? And then all you really need to do is a couple of little dry hops. And dry hops mean you pull out, you don't wet it down, you don't put traction sticky down. Some people do, it does help, but it's also some suspension work there that a new person to racing is not going to understand. People that have experiences, they know there's a lot of tricks to the trade. There are things you can do with a hard radial tire to increase your traction, but that's not what this is about. This is about those that are just now learning to get out to the track, and you haven't learned tuning your chassis. You haven't learned different things about air pressure. This is for newbies, okay? So there are a lot of other things you can do, but this is primarily for you, okay? For you to know things that you can do to help you get down the track and launch. The big thing that I've always told people that were just getting in is work on that 60-foot number. You know, that's going to have to do with traction. So there's, with the other video, I talked about your reaction time. So you have your reaction time. If you cut that good, get a really good number, on top of work on your 60-foot number, then your elapsed time, the total number, at whether it be eighth or quarter mile, whatever it may be, gets better, and it multiplies. Not with the reaction time, but with your 60 foot. If you shave off those little bitty numbers, no, you're not going to go from a 2.0 to a 1.0. But if you can go from a 2.2 to a 2.0 or a 2.0 to a 180, you start shaving off numbers like that. And in some cases, even with your slower cars that you're just not getting used to going out there, you'll have a 1.95. Work on that 1.90. Because you get down to the track, down at the end, those numbers start multiplying. It's no longer a 0.002 or 3 number. Now you're talking about a half second or 3/4 of a second. It may not seem like a lot, but when you're with other people just like you, it does make a difference. All these little small things add up to a major thing at the very end. You get a very good reaction time. Well, now you got the jump on your person you're next to, right? If you get just a little bit better 60 foot every time you go out, and then you figure out your shift points, right? Man, you're talking about here's 3-4 different things you can do that now you've picked up a second at the end. And that's a big number. When you go from a 9.0 to a 7.0 or a 9.0 to an 8.0, man, these are big jumps, right? And if you're out there with your group of friends, more times than not, you all guys run close to the same numbers. That's usually how people group. You'll usually have 1 or 2 that are faster, and those are the people that everybody tries to goal to be like or to try to get as fast as. So keep that in mind whenever you're going to the track and you have a regular radial tire. You come right off the highway. If you get up there outside the water box and you try to do a big smoky burnout with a regular radial tire, they're probably not going to be real happy with you, because here's another problem that you run into with hard radial tires that are treaded like that. They tear up the good rubber that's already laid down, which, every piece of this is, yes, it betters you at the track, but it also, there's etiquette to where you got to think of the people behind you as well. You got to think about the time you're coming back around. And if you tear up the launch area from doing a stupid burnout with a hard radial tire, you're making it harder for yourself the next time you go down the track. It's not making things better. So just go around the water box, do a couple of dry hops, which basically it's dry, and just give the gas just a little bit, just a little hop, and that'll kind of tell you. And then next, we're going to talk about driving the car. There is a difference of floor it here and hook up down there. There's some things there you can learn on my next video, so keep that in mind. Anyway, get to the track, get to know your car, get better on that light, and good luck and have fun doing this, man. That's what we're all doing it for. Take care.